Oh, okay. I've got this laptop on my chest, and I'm lying here, and I'm thinking it's time to give you an update. Now, I'm only showing you this briefly. Oh, how do you like that? I'm only showing you this briefly, just to let you know I'm alive, and to show you my picture. I look a little bit like Solzhenitsyn here. Beard has gotten quite long. The my mustache, I haven't trimmed it for a while. I'm thinking about doing something with it. What do you think? Um, but basically, I want to give you this update, and we'll go to other images and better sound quality in a moment. But just to give you an idea that I'm alive, still on my back. It's May. I have things I need to discuss, and I'll give you a full health update, first part of this. And at the end, I'll give you a financial update, which is a lot less interesting, but a lot more important to me than the health update. But this is just a moment of Byrne. Like that. That's kind of cool. This is just a moment of Byrne for you to remember that I'm here. I'm walking around. Again, I'll give you the full health update in a moment. But I'm giving you the health update. If you don't want to hear me begging for money, cut it off when I say to, and then you'll just have the health update. Some of you have already given way too much, but others of you do need to give, and I'll explain why. So let's cut to the Byrne talks to a good microphone, but you don't get to see him anymore. All right? Okay. Okay, so for me, this is going to be primarily the audio portion, although I will still put some images up here. I'm not sure what images I'm even going to put against this, but whatever it is, they probably won't matter too much. So you can just listen. So, as I said, let me start off with the health update. And for those of you who haven't listened to any of the others, let me just say this started off with my breaking my arm last October, at the beginning of the month. I then had an operation in the middle of the month and had to go through a procedure to get it fixed. I had some titanium put into my arm and then had to go get shots on a daily basis for a month. I had to do stuff. And I spent a lot of time sitting, a lot of time watching, catching up on things. But because of the broken arm, there were certain things I couldn't do. And one of them was too much exercise. So I couldn't go out and take long walks. I took walks around the block and such like that. But I spent much more time sitting in my, what I thought was a nice chair and catching up on things, Lord of the Rings, various television shows and such like that. And then, as time went on, I started noticing something in my back. And what I noticed was I assumed it was kind of a problem with my lumbar region, and maybe it was, but I'd spent too much time sitting. And so it got worse and worse. I started doing rehabilitation on my arm, and then we noticed there was some problem with my arm. And that is, an x-ray revealed that the titanium had somehow started to lift up. I'm not sure how that happened. There are many possibilities, but whatever. But what that did is it constantly restricted what I could do with my arm, which meant if I was having lumbar problems, I couldn't really sleep properly, and I couldn't move my body in such a way as to give that problem much relief. Well, eventually I couldn't sleep at all in my bed, and everything I did was in this chair, sleeping, sitting, everything, which wasn't good for my back. And eventually it got so painful that other problems also started to appear. One of the problems was I started getting these spasms in my thigh and around my waist that were extremely painful. Now, it got so bad that when a nurse, when I went to get my second operation, asked me how bad, I said, she said on a scale of 1 to 10, I said like 12. And I said breaking the arm was about a 3 in contrast. So that developed the last day or so before I went to find out that I needed an operation because I had some major problem in my spine, was so painful that I've mentioned it before, and I'm going to have a talk when I get a little bit better here. I'm going to break down the kinds of pain that I have gone through and what I've thought about things since then. But that's how bad it was. I once had to sit through a dentist, and they ran out my Novocaine or lidocaine or whatever it was in my mouth, stopped working, and so I just felt the direct feel of the drill. It was worse than that. So I ended up going into the hospital. They said I had to have a spine operation, and I've been recovering from that ever since. Now, the big pain portion of my story, how many months? 6 or more? Has already ended. And now I'm in the total humiliation section, which is to say I have a nurse and I have a physical therapist who come in. And when I was first put into this room, when I first got back home, the first night I slid onto the floor because I had no ability in my legs to hold me up. And I stayed on the floor for 3 days before some people came and moved me to my bed. I'll get into all of this more when I do my big retrospective on my painorama. But then I finally ended up, right now I'm sleeping in a hospital bed in my house. And for a while I had these catheters in. Well, I had catheters in the for my urine in the in the hospital, but now I had these blood catheters, and I got so sick of it. I had it for another month here in my house. But then things are like, I have to watch how I urinate. I have a big, laundry detergent bottle that I use all night. I've had problems with serious constipation and then trying to relieve it, which at this point I'm not going to tell you how shitty that has all been. But basically, going through one thing after another, it's like after a while, it's like, okay, fine, I'll turn myself on my back, clean out my butt, there's no dignity left. And then the good news is that I finally got a physical therapist who cares for me enough. She comes in. She's a bit. I would say my nurse is probably about 70-something years old, and that brings its own issues with it, which I'm not going to go into right now. But the other one's around 40-something, and she already has grandchildren. But you can tell she was a very beautiful woman. Still is beautiful. Has 2 grandchildren or so, and was a dancer when she was younger, as many Georgian women were. The really interesting thing is, she's moving my leg around and doing these exercises with it, and she's singing these songs, and the other woman will join in on occasion. That's like one of the most amazing things. There have been really beautiful moments in all of this. And just the most annoying stuff, trying to communicate. My nurse does not speak hardly a word of English. I speak more Georgian, or as it's known, Kartuli now, than I ever did before, because I'm trying to communicate with her. It's like, shukti, the lights. It's just like, panjara, it's just like, do this, yeah. And I've learned all these words, which is great on one hand, but at the same time, sometimes it's just like trying to point a dog to the right bone, and you're going like, no, ada. But the good news is, the last couple of weeks they've been walking me around the house. I'm getting much better at it. They are keeping me back, actually. I would walk around a lot more. But they want me to be healthy, so they don't want me to do it while they're not here. So, all right. Good news is I have a friend coming to town. He can walk me around while they're not here. So that's the health. The health is, I think, 2 weeks to a month, I should be up and about on a fairly normal level. I still have to be careful. Now, the other problem is, and this is a great problem, is that arm that had some issues. It is going to have another operation. I'm pretty much 100% convinced of it. And I really hope that the insurance will cover it. And of course, you're saying, well, Byrne, you could just sue them. This isn't America, which is one reason why the cost isn't American cost. So I'm looking forward to that. And now we come to the part of this I've really dreaded coming to, but I have to talk about it because literally my finances are as low as they've ever been. I've just tanked out. And so I'm going to talk about my needs here. Like I said, if you don't want to hear about money, turn it off now. I'm not going to think anything of you. And if you've already given, and you're like, okay, turn it off now. Or if you just want to know what's going on, and if you want to pray for me or whatever. Okay, so I had a friend go to the bank today to pull out some money so I could pay my rent for this month. And it was rejected. And I looked at my bank account and I realized I was down to fumes. What happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. First thing, number one, thank you so much for everyone who has contributed. I couldn't get this far without your help. I really couldn't. I don't know what I would be doing, really. So it turns out that the actual bill, including the hospital time, was about $8,000, which of course is just the cost of, the ambulance and the emergency room in America or something like this. But the truth is, the insurance company, which I started at the beginning of the year, wouldn't cover it. And they said the spinal surgery is kind of an elective thing. And I'm like, oh, great. So I have been, one thing I have been doing is saving receipts that I've had to pay, and supposedly my insurance company will do that. So I had some money. I gave as much as I can. I still owe $3,000 on my operation. So that's the deficit right there. Secondly, the money that I had has been being eaten up by 3 excess bills. One of the bills is for all the medication and treatments and such. And there was one that cost 800 lari for like a week's worth, which is kind of expensive. It's like $300. And I had that 3 times. More importantly, I've had to pay my nurse, of course, and pay the physiotherapist. And I don't mind at all. I don't know where I'm going to get the money to pay them next time. I just paid them both, and they're going to be coming next week for more. And I haven't been able to pay my rent. I paid about a third of it, and I'm going to have to. I need help to pay the rest within a week. I told the landlord I'd have my rent within a week. I don't know what I'm going to do. You could say, Byrne, didn't you save up money? Yeah, it's all gone. Yeah, it is gone. Anything I've saved up over the years is gone. It's just all been eaten up by this. And, oh, Lord, what can I tell you except that it's really tight. And I'm going to be owing a couple $100 to each of my nurses in the next week or so. And after that, those bills will all taper off. However, I'm going to have to come to that other operation soon, and I don't know what's going on. So I don't want to sit here and beg. I really feel bad doing this. Again, I'm in the total humiliation phase. This is part of it. Not only is my butthole being cleaned rather brusquely by my 78-year-old nurse, but let me repeat that word one more time. But I remember an old black preacher I heard once that says, some people have the goat spirit. They say, I'll serve you, Lord, but... So let's say that one more time. But... So not only is it total physical humiliation and my body just exposed and I'm stuck on my back and have to ask for the most basic things to be brought to me, trying to explain to a woman how to bring me something from the Matziavari, which is the refrigerator, and I'll just say, bring me the Avis Peri, which is the brown liquid, the Soki, which is like juice or Coke, and it just gets crazy. But here's the point. I have been so grateful for all the help I've gotten. So grateful. And I feel, what can I say? Humbled by it, but also I feel kind of guilty for asking for any more. And that's all I can tell you is that if you want to help. This is the time I could use it. I don't know what's up with this year. It looks like it's going to be a year before I'm done with this whole odyssey into pain and abjection. But I'm learning. And as you can hear by my voice, my brain is there. I'm here. I just can't move my body very much. But it's getting closer. I'm getting closer to being able to scoot around and walk around everywhere. So pray for me. If you don't have any money and can't help, pray for me. If you only have $5, send it. If you got more, send that. And you can do it one of two ways. There's a PayPal link below, or you can use the GoFundMe link. And go ahead and use either of those. The links are below in the description section. And that's where I am. And here's what I've learned. Grim Grizz today put a thing as, what is the most recent, how did he phrase it? Revelation you've had or whatever. And I said that after my operations, I am completely, utterly broke. But everything is all right. I'm not worried. I know that the money will come in, and I know that no matter what happens, I will get through this. But we will meet again. From Tbilisi, this is Byrne. Droibit. And thank you ahead of time.
A people without history is not redeemed from time. For history is a pattern of timeless moments.